Alright, so I guess it's time for that whole question of the week type thing. I want to thank everybody that came over to this channel and asked me some questions this week. I didn't get a lot of questions. I really appreciate everybody that asked me a question though, because I really like doing this whole question of the week thing. I like seeing people's answers to things and such like that. Um, so my question this week, I guess, is of all of the 80s movies and everything that are being remade into comics, like 80s and 90s movies, uh, is there any movie out there that you would like to see made into a comic? I mean, there's like so many right now being made into comics. Escape from New York and Edward Scissorhands and all these other comics. Is there a movie out there from the 80s and 90s that you would really like to see made into a comic? All right. So my questions this week, my first one was from Sleepy Reader, and it was a question. Mercy's little show asked me last week about what my favorite '90s image titles were, and I said like Spawn and like Grifter and Wildcats and all that stuff. And Sleepy Reader asked me, do I like those old image books better than I like some of the better books that are out now? And as far as the image books go, I don't think so. I think that when Spawn came out, that Spawn was so glossy and pretty, and I loved Todd McFarlane's art in it. The story was amazing, uh, but I don't think it's near as good as some books that are out now. Uh, they're with so many new number ones and everything coming out now that I can pick up books and just be blown away by something like the way that I'm blown away by Birthright, or you know, the way that I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head that I'm blown away by, but that I can pick up these books and just really be amazed by how good something can be just out of the gate with a new idea. Spawn and all those guys, they weren't new ideas. They were just like a regurgitation of the same old thing. Uh, I do, however, think that Vertigo books from that same time, like Sandman and Preacher and Transmetropolitan and all of that stuff that was out there, those Vertigo books are probably as good as most everything that comes out now. I'd be hard pressed to say that first volume of Sandman isn't as good. The first volume of Preacher, the first volume of Transmetro isn't as good as about anything that's out there now. Uh, but that's that. Uh, Derek Lucarelli asked me how what I think about uh, all the Robin Rises ads promoting that Damien's coming back, being inside the Robin Rises series. Does that take away from the event? I don't think it takes away from the event because I think it's just a great story. Everything that's going on with him going to Apocalypse and the suit and just his. I love anything that has to do with him and the Justice League not getting along. And I think Tomasi's just genius, and that Gleason is just hitting a home run every time that he gets up. I think it's just amazing, and I'm hoping that when Damien does come back, that maybe he is like a broken Pet Cemetery form of himself, and that maybe Batman's wish of wanting him back backfires, and then Damien goes and like grabs the League of Assassins and becomes one of like Batman's mortal enemies that Batman can't ever kill because of the fact that it's Damien inside that body. I think that would be pretty awesome. Uh, so I'm real hopeful for what the future of that brings. So I like seeing the ads coming. Mercy's little show asked me what Marvel book I would like to see Cliff Chang do, and I think that Cliff Chang draws better thick females, and most of the females in Marvel are kind of stringy, and I don't really think that I would care to see him draw a lot of the males. Uh, Possibly Thor. Thor might not be bad. But I think if I had to pick one, I would pick Storm. because Storm's one of my favorite Marvel characters, and Cliff Chang's one of my favorite artists drawing women. And Storm's a strong woman. He draws good, strong women. Storm has a lot of exterior action going on with everything that I think he would just do. It would just be an amazing book uh, if Cliff Chang were to do Storm. That would just be awesome, you know. But then Stacy Poole asked me if there's comics that I've read more than twice, and what are they and why. And I do it with books too. Uh, when I get bored, I'll go back and reread books. Uh, I probably read I probably read the City of Ember series um, 8 times. I probably read the Hunger Games series, um, probably 8 times. Uh, there's so many books that I've read multiple times. Um, but I do the same thing with comics. I've got some comics that I really love that if I don't have anything to read and, I'm just looking for something that I can sit down and kind of blow through that I know is going to be an enjoyable story. Uh, I really like Kingdom Come. I love Alex Ross's art in this. I love Mark Waid's story. I wish one day, I know that it's not ever going to happen, but that Kingdom Come would be a movie. Uh, this is just an amazing book. Anybody that had never read this, I can't imagine that you haven't ever read it, but it's an amazing read. Um, Transmetropolitan. I've read this so many times over the years, I don't even know how many. Uh, but it is an amazing story, as most of those, like I said, those early Vertigo books are. Transmetro, Sandman, the first Sandman, God knows how many times I've read it. Uh, Crisis on Infinite Earth. Anytime that I want to sit down and just read a good multiverse story that's going to have just art that I love, um, I sit down and I read this Crisis on Infinite Earth. Um, it is just freaking brilliance. And anytime that I want like a quick read that kind of gives me a flashback to like the old days of reading comics or whatever, I love to read this Alan Moore Swamp Thing. Uh, it's like a very, very traditionally type thing. The stories in this are great. And I just love Alan Moore. I've read probably most Alan Moore at least a couple of times. I probably read V for Vendetta, you know, 4 or 5 times at least. But yeah, so uh, anyway, like I said, everybody, thanks for thanks for giving me questions. If you got questions for next week or whatever, leave them down underneath, uh, and I'll get off here and get to reading some comics.